So, the most recent episode of Doctor Who, the 13th series, is one of, I think, 6 parts that I believe is the last series for the 13th Doctor. I don't know if she's got a 14 next year, or they might, I don't know, because would they leave it blank and just wait for the 60th? Who knows? But it starts off with the Doctor and Yaz under some magnet pole thing, holding them over some acid. They escape that, and then they get to Earth, but the TARDIS is leaking some venom symbiote type stuff from the light columns. I don't even know if I could put images up from the series without the video getting taken down. We'll have to find out. If you can see images, good. If not, there's a white block in its place. But anyway, they get back to Earth, and Dan, who I think he's played by John Bishop, works at a food bank. Yeah, he's giving food to people, and he gets trick-or-treaters come round, and he lives sort of just outside of the Liverpool's football stadium, which could go either way depending on football fans. And that could be a thing to cause a fight over Doctor Who. I don't think that's been done before. And some, I honestly cannot remember the name of his species, even though I heard it like half hour ago, but a dog creature, we'll call him that. And he basically kidnaps Dan. As we find out later on, he wants to save him, and the rest of his species come to save the humans from a thing called the Flux, which is basically how can I describe this? A big red cloud of death sweeping through space, destroying every planet it touches. Well, not planet, anything it touches. And there's this poor bloke who's studied somewhere in space, stationed rather, somewhere in space, studying, I think, planets, in like a capsule. But the architecture inside the capsule remind me a lot of, I can't remember what the name of the episode, one of the 10th Doctor's episodes. There was like a space station in an asteroid orbiting a black hole. It's the one with the Udin and Satan. Satan's pit? Might be. But, you know, the yellow steel walling, I mean, it kind of reminded me of that. But anyway, this bloke's station gets engulfed by this flux, so he escapes, and the Doctor gets aboard the dog creature's ship after Dan's house has been shrunk. Oh, some bloke, poor man, sat on the toilet and half his wall goes missing. I hate it when that happens. But they get on the dog's ship. Yaz frees down. She freezes down. And the Doctor's talking to the dog. Disables his ship. And the dog's pissed. And they're back and forthing. The dog's on about how it's his goal to save humanity from the Flux. And the dog and the Doctor just back and forthing. Not really giving that many answers to each other. Then Dan's freed, starts annoying the dog, after he was annoying the dog whilst being captured by it. And they escape in the TARDIS after the dog decides to get pissed that the Doctor is freeing his kidnapped human. And they zoom off in the TARDIS. The TARDIS, being the TARDIS, takes them to where they don't want to go. the edge of the solar system, where the Flux decides to follow the Doctor. After the Doctor has what I could compare to the Force visions that Rey and Kylo Ren have in Star Wars, the sequel trilogy. And they're trying to outrun that in the TARDIS. The TARDIS is falling apart pretty much. The Doctor is hitting the TARDIS console with a mallet, which I think is a reference to the 10th Doctor, because once or twice he did batter his console with a mallet. I think one of the most notable times he did it was in The Runaway Bride. She hits some crystal on the console and shoots time vortex energy into the Flux, which does jack shit. And the dogs, right, I think there was like 7 billion of them in their ships above, flying to the Earth, and their ships, as they say, should withstand the force of the Flux, and they can all join together, like connect and join like in Voltron. So their first thought, instead of joining around the Earth, is let's kidnap all the humans. So the option to save the race you're trying to save without causing any panic, you don't go for it, instead you decide to kidnap everyone. Well, in the end, the Doctor tells the dog that she met to tell the ships to all join around the Earth. Then the end of the episode is on a cliffhanger, which I think there's apparently meant to be another 4 cliffhangers in the series. Each part meant to end on a cliffhanger minus the ending, unless they decide to end the ending on a cliffhanger. But the cliffhanger was, I'll have to explain one of the other plot lines first, but there was another plot in this, that the TARDIS is malfunctioning. It always has been, but now it's glitching, and there's a second door on the opposite side to the TARDIS where the normal door is. And when Doctor and Yaz enter, they say it's never happened before. But it kind of has. The 11th Doctor, he had a special. I will get up the name of it now, but I think it might have been a Children Need special. But there was the whole thing of the TARDIS was in the TARDIS, and the doors were linked. Space and time. That's it. But this time in Doctor Who, all the doors led outside, not inside. Plus, I mean, it's not there being another door, it's the TARDIS being inside the TARDIS. The 10th Doctor and the 5th Doctor had a crossover Children Need special called, I think it was Time Crash, where the 5th Doctor's TARDIS was inside the 10th Doctor's TARDIS. And yeah. I mean, you could probably say, yeah, those don't line up with the continuity. Well, yes. But the end of Time Crash led into Voyager the Damned. And again, so did the last episode of Series 3 of Doctor Who. And then later on, when the Doctor and Ryan rescue Yaz, the Doctor and Yaz rescue Dan, the TARDIS decides to spawn another door, except it's half the exterior on the floor. But in the end of the episode had the Flux approach the TARDIS, and the front door open, the door in the floor open, and the door in the, I think, the back or the right wall open. Obviously they're gonna let the Flux in. That was the cliffhanger. I mean, yeah, it's a cool cliffhanger. But I mean, there was the slight plot line of, I think her name was Claire, approached the Doctor and said she found her, and said she would meet her again somewhere. I feel like I have seen her in a past episode. But I can't quite place my finger on it for now. But the Weeping Angel, one of them, is on the street outside her house, and Claire, doing the smart thing, has her eyes locked with it, which is what you're meant to do. And she's approaching her door. She can't find her door key in her purse, so she looks away from the Weeping Angel at the bag, and it gets to a gate. She finds the key, and she goes to open the door, except she drops her key, and in Scooby-Doo fashion, can't find it. And she finds it, looks away to open her door, and gets zapped by the Weeping Angel, I think back to 1820, in some coal mine in Liverpool. So that's, wonder if they go down the route of, I think Sally Sparrow and Blink, with the past communicating with the future. I hope this review's come out. I'm not trying to cast shit upon the series yet. So far I think it's better than the last series. There are a couple of bits that not so good, but I'm sure it'll be resolved at some point. I'm forgetting the other bloke, Rotting Face Man. I'm not sure if he was given a name, but he's a prisoner of some kind. And then he sucks in the energy from the force field and prison that's surrounding him, and then just kills the two people who are sent to check up on him. And he starts killing people on Earth, and then turns some woman into a female version of him. And he's like this weird thing. I mean, at first me and my friend thought he would be the decaying master, but I mean, I'm not sure if he is or he isn't, because he was speaking to the 13th Doctor about how they're locked in battle, and he knows her. Because I mean, at the end of the last series, the bloke set off the nuke on Gallifrey with the Master and I think the 5 Cybermen Time Lord hybrids left there. So it would have forced the Master to regenerate. And I don't know, maybe he regenerated and got burned. Because I mean, surely that kind of explosion would have been picked up. Surely by the Jadoon, because of their whole shadow proclamation stuff. And I would think kidnapping a planet's worth of people probably goes against the shadow proclamation. Instead, the only time they've been seen in the 13th Doctor's run was arresting her for reasons I'm not sure were actually mentioned. Perhaps they confused her with the other Doctor. But I would give this episode a 5 out of 10. I mean, normally the first episodes of the series, I don't mind them because they set things up. There's not much they can do wrong. It's just the later episodes that decide to follow on from that and fuck it up. So who knows where we'll go from here? I think the next episode is set in the Crimean War with Sontarans, which actually could be interesting. If you enjoyed this review, feel free to like, comment what you think I got wrong, or an alternative opinion to the episode. I would look forward to reading them if you put them down there. And yeah, feel free to like and subscribe. All my other channels and other stuff is linked in the description, including my Instagram, which you could message an alternative opinion there. Until next time, keep making impossible possible. I will see you next Sunday, or whenever this comes out, for the review of the next episode. Don't have a good day? Have a great day.